How you doing, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here, and today's video is on this DW Collector Series Black Iron Snare Drum. If you've seen any of my videos, you've heard me say that snare drums are a great way to expand your sound arsenal in your drum collection. You don't always have to buy, or you can't always afford to buy, an extra drum kit. But snare drums keep getting more and more, same with cymbals, and you really start amassing a nice collection. This particular snare drum has some serious wow factor. It just sounds great. It is a solid steel snare drum created by master artisan Gregg Keplinger. He got together with DW and they've just made this amazing sounding snare drum. It's really versatile. It goes high to low. It's thuddy, but it has a great crack too. It's a really nice drum. Let me start by giving you a little backstory about who Gregg Keplinger is. He is a master drum builder, hails from Seattle, Washington, and he's worked with a lot of the bands that have come from that area. He was a drum tech for Matt Cameron, who was in Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. And over the years, he's been building drums, and he's become sort of famous in the drum world for his steel snare drums. Now, coupling with DW, again, they've made a great drum. Let's get into the details right now. All right, as you can tell, I took the head off of the drum here, and the first thing you can tell about this drum when you pick it up is the weight. It doesn't weigh a ton, but it's not light either. It's a good middle of the road as far as weight's concerned, and it just means it's really sturdy. The edge on the shell is not very sharp. It's a little bit rounded, but it's, this is a solid piece of steel here, so there's a tiny bit of an edge you can feel with your finger when you roll over the top of it, but it's also kind of rounded too, so it's right in the middle as far as edges are concerned. The finish on the shell, this is, again, a piece of iron, so it's very smooth to the touch, but it looks rough. It looks kind of dated and worn, and it's all really cool stuff. Let me tell you, with this black nickel hardware, it just jumps off the stage with lights on it. It's just really cool looking. It looks equally worn as well on the inside. You can tell that this was a piece of iron that was just rolled. You can see the seam right here, but you can't feel anything at all. It's really, really well made. That's why Gregg Keplinger is known as an artisan drum builder, because he makes these drum shells to really high standards, and they work really well. One of the things that makes this drum so special is the fact that there's only 50 of them made worldwide. The one I have in front of me here today is number 29 out of 50. You can see it on the sticker on the inside of the drum shell. There's also a sticker with the serial number of the drum and the date it was manufactured. And over by the seam, if you can tell here, Gregg has etched his signature into the drum shell. It's a really cool feature. It's a special drum. Being that this drum is so versatile, it sounds really good with other sticks. I got some blast sticks, dowel rods here. Check it out. And brushes sound great too. Okay, let's get into the hardware now that comes on this drum. It's really nice, very high-end DW hardware. The classic turret lug, DW's true hoops. These are 10-hole hoops that feel really great when you're doing your backbeat, your rim shots, and you get a killer side stick sound. The strainer and throw-off system on this DW drum is their fantastic mag throw-off system. It's super easy to use. Get the snare wires on and off by just flicking your finger, so while you're playing a song, you can easily go back and forth. Adjusting the wires is equally easy with the knob that's right next to the lever. On the other side, the opposite side of the throw-off, is the 3-position butt plate. Again, a really cool feature because you can have 3 different snare wire tensions just by flicking the lever back and forth. So you can really switch the sound up while you're doing a live gig, and in the studio, that's a fantastic option as well. You also get true tone snare wires, really nice snare wires with brass ends, so they'll last a long time and give a good snap to the bottom. And finally, the true pitch tuning rods. Now these tuning rods have a lot more threads than your normal tuning rod, so you can really dial in the pitch of the drum and it stays in tune for, as long as you want. All right, let's check out the sound of this drum with the snare wires off. A really pleasant tone for a steel drum. So you can use this drum with the snare wires off with the rest of your kit. Toms often do some really great jungle beats and all kinds of other stuff as well. As I said earlier in the video, this drum is really extremely versatile. You can get a ton of different sounds out of one drum. I have it tuned up pretty high right now using a basic Remo coated ambassador head. It's working great, but I want to show you how it sounds tuned to a different spot. So I'm going to tune it down a lot lower, and this steel shell with all the hardware that's on it, tuned down low, gives it a nice, big, thuddy, fat sound. So hopefully you can tell by that playing example, this is a killer rock and roll snare drum. Really cool for those kind of just laying into it hard, heavy backbeats, so perfect for that kind of music. But again, it's really versatile, so if you crank this thing back up high, you can play any style of music with this drum. It'll be a killer R&B, kind of funk snare drum. This snare drum would be great for all kinds of jazz and Latin settings, really any type of music, pretty much any setting, and I'd highly encourage using this drum in a recording studio. Before I finish this video today, let me tell you what I coupled this snare drum with. I'm using the Sweetwater Studios Collector's Cherry Gum kick drum and floor tom. Great sounding cherry gum shells, big beefy sound. I have some Peisty 2002 cymbals, killer rock cymbals, love these things. For the microphones, we have a Royer R121 out in front of the kick drum, and for the overheads, we're using a pair of Audio-Technica 5045s. Highly encourage you checking out those microphones for overheads. They sound great. And we're going into Pro Tools via a Antelope Zen Studio interface. And finally, when you buy this drum, it comes with a really nice DW bag, really padded, it's very thick, and it'll take care of your drum no matter where you go with it. And also a reminder that there's only 50 of these drums made worldwide, so I highly encourage you to check it out. It is a collector's item for sure, but it is a collector's item that is meant to be used. So if you buy this snare drum, don't put it on a shelf. Take it out, bring it to the studio, bring it to your live shows, and you'll be very happy that you did. So if you need any more information about this DW Collector Series Black Iron Snare Drum or any other DW product, just contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thanks a lot for watching.